up, everybody? It's your girl Nita, your favorite diva, and I am back for this is your Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 4, episode 5. Coins to make and not friends to fake. Okay, you guys, you know how we start this review. We're gonna go ahead with the recap for episode 4. So first of all, girl Kimmy girl, you know I love you. You know I love you down, girl. You know how we gotta preface that before we start tugging. Just before we start tugging. But your new role as being a bone carrier, you went and told Tisha about Mel's Christmas party and that Destiny and Tisha was not invited, which Mel told you not to say. But you went back and said it. And then you also let her know that Kiki was there and she was dropping the tea on you and Marcel. There you go. Then we have a sit down with Lewis and Marceau. There was this little sit down, there was a little get together, and we did have Maurice there tag teaming with Marceau. And hey, he was kind of caught off guard and he kind of had to kowtow because Marceau has a thing about him, okay? And so he's able to channel some kind of higher energy in the male totem pole and try to, punch down. And so he did that. He told Lou, he said, "What if you get off telling me about my marriage?" And then now listen, while I totally agree he got his ass together, I do not agree with his stance on that, but he did shut him down. His stance was he didn't earn the right to speak on his marriage, and that is a falsehood, and that is it's a no. It's a no, Marcel. Guess what? You are a public figure. You are on a TV show, and people get to look at you and your marriage. No, Tisha is your real wife. She's not a fake wife. You're on a real TV show, not a fake TV show. This is reality TV. And yes, when you open yourself up, that is what you open yourself up to. The criticisms, the praises, the scrutiny, the eyes, the tongue, unwarranted, warranted, whatever. You can't pick and choose what you're going to get. You're going to get it. Okay? So, yes, I didn't agree with that, but he shut his ass down. And also, too, Maurice said that Marceau hasn't always been like that. I beg to differ. Marceau strikes me as an asshole from birth to now. Okay, so then we move on to Martell's sob story about, Mel not bringing the kids to the bookstore. Okay, then we have Stormy and Tiffany having to sit down about the awkwardness at the Christmas party, and it's a fast forward for me. Then we end off the episode with the conversation that tete-a-tete with Tisha and Kiki, and Tisha kind of like fast talking Kiki and telling her that we talked about this 5 years ago. We apologize. We thought we moved past it. She came in there big. She came in there big and bad. However, Kiki kind of called her on her shit, and what Kiki does the exact same thing that Tisha does to everybody else. Bring up shit that we thought we got past, and you bring it up again. She came in there big and bad. She left out shaking with her tail tucked behind her. Kimmy, I just talked to Kiki, and I just, girl, what? No. Mm-mm. And then Kiki rolls up on you and say, "Who are you talking about me to now, Letitia?" So yeah, that's the recap. And now on to episode 5. Basically from that particular encounter, when she walked up on Tisha, having this conversation with Kimmy on the phone, Kiki is like, "Now, who are you talking about me to?" So she's saying over and over and over again. And the thing is about Tisha, listen to what I'm saying to you. The thing is about Tisha is what she is doing. She's been played on so many people, Marceau most importantly, because I see the same tactics that he has used on her. She's saying the same thing to someone else to justify her behavior. Case in point, she said something about what she said. She said, "You keep bringing this over and over and over again." What does that sound like? That sounds like Tisha talking about you tried to destroy my marriage. But in season 3, didn't they say we was getting past that, right? Okay. So then when she heard her say, "You were destroying my marriage," that is what Mel is talking about. You do the same thing that you're talking about. All it is karma. Then she also used the line that Carlos King said at the reunion. She said, if we weren't family, I wouldn't even be having this discussion with you again. That's the same thing, the same tactic that Carlos used against Kimmy and Tisha. And it hurt, it stung. And it seems like everything that she's using, it was used against her, and she's using it against someone else. So Tisha, baby, wrong road, girl, because we got the receipts of when you actually did it to other people. Okay, so you cannot say that you wasn't going to discuss it again. You never discuss another situation again, because that is not true. And let's just say that the next thing she's gonna be saying, if you don't know me by now, you don't know me. Now somebody gonna be asking her a question, she gonna hit the Marceau. If you don't know me by now, I ain't gotta answer that question. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. All the little tactics, all the little manipulative tactics that people have used on her, she'll begin to use them on other people. That's what I just saw. I just saw a lot of mirroring and things like that. The loud talking, the whole elevating of the voice. Teacher, you really need to do a better job with that. I'm just saying. Okay, so Martell walks into wherever Marcel is, acting like he fake working. Doesn't that looks like their office? Okay, he got the hard hat on. Anyway, child. Martell comes in there, of course, with the sob story, talking about whatever. So Marcel asked him, oh yeah, how was the book signing? Because Martell brought up that he missed them, like they didn't show up, they didn't come. So Marcel was like, yeah, man, we had some things to do. Whoopty whoopty whoop, right? So he was like, well, how was it? He was like, it was okay. He was like, was it a good turnout? He was like, yeah, except for Mel didn't bring the keys. Did she say why? Because it wasn't my week. Dang, man. Dang. That's were you embarrassed? Yeah, I'm embarrassed. I'm still embarrassed. He's like, dang, but it's their book though. It's their book.
See, when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite.
Yeah, man, co-parenting is hard. Maybe you should have thought about that before he went and made another co-parenting relationship. Maybe you should have thought about it. I don't know. What do you think? I'm just saying. Okay, so Martell is still explaining the whole situation, right? Marcel speaks in on a male's perspective, of course, the father's perspective, because he thinks that the mother, the woman is supposed to bend herself into a pretzel to accommodate whatever the man, the father requires, whether it's reasonable or not. Martell tells him that they're like on email as far as the communication goes. He was like, email. He's like, y'all don't call each other, like. He's like, no, it's like excommunicado.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
You don't get to keep on disrespecting me. It's called a boundary. And that's the thing that Marceau and Martell and these men have not understood and don't quite get and fathom how a woman, a mother, someone can protect themselves by initiating boundaries in their life. And so that's why he looks at it like it's some kind of form. What? Marceau, get the fuck out of here. So then he was saying that it's important to the kids and whoop-de-whoop, blah, blah, blah. He's saying that they are using the kids as pawns. And that's usually the male's excuse, right? Of course. But no, that's not what the situation is. You have the children when you had them. I had the children when I had them. And that's just what it is. He broke up the family. Therefore, the family is broken. And I don't do that anymore. I'm not your wife. I'm not any of that. I am my children's mother. And I am my own person. Okay, so there's no more protecting you, protecting your image, trying to bend myself in a pretzel to accommodate you. That doesn't happen anymore. You've lost that privilege. It's kaput. It's goodbye. It's a no. Period. And that's just something. And he's learned, y'all. Like what did I tell you? You set the boundary. You teach somebody how to treat you. Okay, you set the boundary. You teach somebody how to treat you. And what did he say? I have to plan it on my week. Lesson learned. Case closed. What's the next lesson? Okay, so they're having this conversation about the wine thing. They're about to do the whole thing. So then Martell invites him to a boys' trip in Atlanta, right? So here go Marcel on his high horse. The most important thing in a marriage is trust. Letitia trusts me, and I trust Letitia. And the most important thing is not to let anyone else's opinions and voices come in between our trust. And the number one person on that is Letitia. And I'm married and I can go in a club and I can go in a lounge and it doesn't matter to me. Because Martell, he jumped in there and said, well, yeah, I can go to the club and I can go to a lounge because I'm single. Oh, yeah, you're single now, buddy. You're single now. Listen to what the niggas are saying. They are telling on themselves, okay? I don't know. But Marceau has effectively programmed and drilled into Letitia, and she's internalized it, and she is regurgitating his talking points and all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just basically what we've been doing for years and years and years. That has not gotten us anywhere. So there's that. So he's gonna go to this little wine tasting or whatever. Okay, so Listen, so then Martell kind of pivots and says, how do you feel about me buying back into Scope, right? So, Scope is their former company that they held together, Scott and Holt Scope. And so he wants to buy back in. And because of Martell's business acumen, it would be a no for me, dog.
It's a no for me, dog.
I'm sorry, just me personally. However, let's see how Marcel dances around this. So Marcel basically says that while I am the husband, the president, and the CEO of Scope, I am not the majority shareholder in the company. Oh no. Go figure. He said that I would have to definitely talk to Tisha about this and see how she feels about it. And he said one of the best ways to do this, like, I like Marcel's kind of business acumen and sometimes where his logic comes from, but he sometimes has that misogynistic drunk logic as well tethered into there. So, you can only take it with a grain of salt. But some of the things he does say, kind of does, like, okay, I understand, like, okay, let's move forward. Okay, the way we can test this out, because he comes up with solutions. Let's figure out this whole Destiny. She wants to build these suites in her building in Madani and let that be, income for her. She wants to do that. Now, remember, she came to him in season 3 trying to do that, but because the business was kind of up and down and influx, and the Panorama came, child, it was a whole lot, right? So Panorama is over, but Destiny is in hard times right now. So she's trying to pick up the pieces. We don't even know the status of Madani. Not really sure what's going on with that, but that is an idea. Martell was okay with it. He said he thought it was a good idea. He really wanted to know, like, but what do you think? Like, I feel like he wanted some kind of validation, some kind of male validation about, is this a good idea from your standpoint? Let's not put it on Tisha. What do you think? Like, he kind of like put it back on him with that. Okay. So then, of course, like I said, Marcel does have some good talking points at times. He came back with him and was like, he wouldn't mind it. He kept it very, even keel. He's like, he wouldn't mind it. And then he goes on in a confessional saying that, the company was good. Martell did bring something to the table. Not a builder's license. Not a builder's license. He brought something to the table. Well, anyway, I don't know. He said he bought something today. I don't know. But he said, but he does, as a business owner, have to protect his company, his marriage, his investment, and all this other stuff. All that. Yeah. Okay, so we move on. We got Kimmy and Maurice. He's doing things with his hands. She's admiring. Fast forward. Then Kimmy sits down with Maurice, tells him the story of Tisha, Kiki, and her on the phone, this conversation, and how it all went down. And Maurice says, so what's next, right? It's going to be niece, daughter, going to have a conversation with Wanda, and you're going to get brought into it, right? And it's going to be ugly, and it's going to go left. And she was like, that's none of my business. Yeah, you could have a point, Kimmy. However, that bone you got, girl, it might weigh just a little bit more than what you wanted to, right? Hey, I don't know, girl. I don't know. So he's telling you, so look out, Hurricane Wanda. Okay, this was a very, very, very uncomfortable conversation between Destiny and Maurice about her financials, what happened after the divorce, how she's been scratching and surviving good times after uprooting her life, moving to Huntsville to marry the chicken man, get pregnant, have a baby, 3 weeks postpartum for him to file divorce papers, and her having to pick up the pieces. Okay, so this is normally the situation with Black women. Just be careful. Just be careful. Just be careful. What I want to say is, usually when you legally bind yourself, you are without protection. You're just without protection. The man is not going to protect you. He's going to be looking out for himself. When you legally bind yourself to your mate, most times for Black women, it's not for the betterment of yourself. Okay, so here is another key scenario of it not turning out for the best. Very, very sorry it happened, but it is very, very true, and wish it could be a cautionary tale for women. But women, they tend to think that it's not going to be them, and I wish y'all just look at the majority. Okay, baby, just look at the majority. That's all I'm saying. So we get into this little conversation. Maurice is it's really, really hard for him because it's hard, just with a regular person that you don't know. But then when you start to look at someone in your circle, that's when it becomes even more uncomfortable. Her divulging she was on public assistance. I still don't understand how that works. Maybe during the pandemic, they loosened some of the restrictions. Maybe some things was just going. He was like, "You mean PPP, the PPP loan, which that's what she should have got. If you ain't get that, girl, I don't know what the hell was you doing." Talking, she was like public assistance. I'm like, well, what do you? I mean, WIC. I know when you have a small baby and you got formula to get you can get some WIC. Is that the public assistance you're talking about? Because I don't think nothing else qualifies for when you have businesses, assets, jobs, and all of that. There's a threshold, baby. Don't tell on yourself because they'll be knocking at your door, girl. Let me just tell you. So then Maurice says, it takes a village. But I heard that something in your village is not quite gelling. Like something, you got a problem with your village. And she was like, no, I think my village has a problem with me. But he was basically bringing up the male drama or whatever. And what it sounds like to me is that Destiny wants a little bit more than what Mel is willing to give. That's what it looks like. It looks like she wants her to pick up the phone. She's saying that she's calling. She's not responding. She may get a text here or there. And that is not good enough for Destiny. It leaves a place where she feels like she's questioning the friendship. Whenever I feel like you're questioning the friendship, you need to make it clear, set the standard, the boundary, and discuss whether or not it can be met, and then move forward after that in that kind of manner. But I feel like there is there's a barrier because, Mel, she's on like this uppity, like how it looks like, it's not about how it feels. It's about how it looks. Now, listen, we're not going to act like Mel still ain't got a wild hair up her ass because Destiny did not tell her about the divorce that she went through. We're not going to play dumb. We're not going to be stupid. We're not even going to act like that is not what part of this is about. Okay. But what I will say is that it's never any fun. It's never any fun when somebody pulls a you on you. You never see it until someone does it to you. So we shall see. We shall see. Okay. So that's how that sound. Maurice basically, he had or maybe, you might have to be with Tisha if Mel can't give you what you need. And, then and if Tisha's doing it, maybe that's something you need to think about and all of that. And, Destiny was in tears and I don't know. Mel is in a place. Let me tell you where Mel is. Mel is it's a very familiar place. If you as a woman has ever been done wrong, you're in a place where, you were so given, so forgiven, so doing all of this over and above, and someone burns you. You get burnt. You give time after time after time after time again. They burn you and they burn you and they burn you and they burn you. So you're at one extreme. Then you say, okay, no more. Then you go to the other extreme. That is where Mel is. Mel is in a place where she's saying, no. If you can't do this, if you can't meet this, then you can't be in my life. Because I am protecting myself and this is my boundary and this is a hard set boundary and I'm not going to allow it. That's where Mel is at right now. She has to find her way to make it back in the middle. Not be the bigger person, but kind of come back and bring a little bit of balance because she went from one extreme to the other extreme and neither extremes are healthy. We have to get into a healthy medium. Okay. So that is, I hope that helps to explain about, where she is. I wouldn't say she's being mean and bitter and all these things. On surface level, that's what you could say it is. But I think if you look a little deeper, you can see that there's something else going on there. And sometimes if you haven't been through it, then you may not recognize it. And so hopefully me explaining that might have shed a little bit of light on where Mel is in this whole situation. And I hope that we get to see her come back into the middle and find some kind of balance because neither one is healthy. Neither one. Yeah. And so, Maurice said he was going to pray for her. So Marcel and Tisha are at the office and he comes in with coffee. He's making her coffee, all of that. Tisha says that she would like for Wanda to come in and shadow Marcel. However, I don't really remember Marcel really doing that for Jalen. I mean, I remember him being there for a scene. Maybe he does it more often. I've seen him have a meeting. I've seen him throw orders out. I haven't really seen him do anything, but who knows? I remember when Jalen came on board, Tisha said we needed to hire someone who had the experience so Jalen could shadow. Now all of a sudden Marcel is this person. I don't know. It just reads like storyline to me. We need Wanda because Wanda get the people talking, right? So we get the ratings up, we get the people talking, we get the eyes on it, and here you go. Okay. So what I've noticed is that Marcel and Tisha has been taking a front center stage on this franchise, if you have not noticed. So I mean, of course it's called Love and Marriage, but I have noticed that, and I noticed that the further that Martell and Melody kind of get away from, like it was very, very Mel and Martell heavy, it's not so much anymore. And I feel like Tisha and Marcel are taking that place or whatever. And I see that they are being on this one accord. It's almost similar to how it's Team House, even after the cheating rumors. Okay. So there's that. But yeah, I've noticed that. So Tisha basically said Wanda was there as a part of the investment. If you invest all the money into the food truck and don't train her properly, you're setting her in the business up to fail. And Marcel said, okay, babe, you convinced me, I give in. Okay, so they have the conversation where Marcel brings up exactly the conversation that he had with Martell about him buying back into Scope. Tisha says, he's fine or whatever. However, she does not trust him. She said, even though he has apologized, a half-ass apology, might I add, but she said that it's still in him to do that. And so, period. There's no more about it, because he did tell Tisha she is the majority of the company and we need your input. And so he said he respects her position on it. He do. He just ain't say that shit to Martell because he know Martell is bad for business. He blew his whole family up. Businesses, family, everything. For a piece of ass. Absolutely not. That's not what we're doing. And Marcel is like, yeah, no. So luckily, Tisha was like, hell to the no. So he can just blame it on Tisha, right? That's usually what he was gonna do anyway. And I felt like that's what he wanted to do. That's why he led with it and threw Tisha under the bus anyway, because that was the whole. He know he don't want Martell nowhere near that shit. Come on now. Would you let Martell near any of your goddamn business anymore after you've seen how the hell he handles his goddamn life? What kind of shit the fuck? Okay, so first of all, Destiny and Mel are meeting at this cafe, and Mel is coming to her. It's something about the smug look. I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments. Y'all let me know if Mel has this type of smug, condescending kind of just look about her. If I can find it, I'm gonna put it on the screen. You let me know what you think about this particular look that she tends to have. It kind of reminds me of a passive aggressive. It reminds me of the snide, like I said, snarky, smug. That how she talks to Destiny or whatever. And Destiny came to her and said that she was supposed to be having some business dealings with someone that she knew or whatever. And the lady pretty much just came to her and was just like, yeah, no, we not gonna be doing business. Or, she was just kind of saying that, she got some information from you and it wasn't favorable and, all of these things or whatever. And so Mel was just like, yeah, no, like I'm not taking that. I'm not accepting account responsibility for that. That's not on me about what somebody else did. And Destiny was like, well, it came to me pretty heavy, and it could come to you heavy, or it could not come to you heavy. Now, because you are harboring feelings about Melody, and you have these feelings, anything that Mel does may come off heavy. You see what I'm saying? So I think what is happening is that both of these parties are hurt. And they cannot meet in the middle because neither one has kind of acknowledged, accepted responsibility, and tried to move on in a genuine way. They're hung up in their points of view. So Mel wants to be right. Destiny wants to be right. There's a miscommunication with Mel. There's a miscommunication with Destiny, and lines are getting crossed. And so that is basically where this whole thing is. And then she goes about this whole thing about what happened on the reunion, saying that Destiny lied at the reunion and said that I hadn't talked to you. And she was like, I didn't want to call you a liar on the stage because I could have done that. No, Mel, you said I'm gonna say this for a storyline for season 4. Girl, we see each other. So with the storyline, there we have it. So she brings out, she got her receipt, she got her proof, and all of the times that her and Destiny have had text message conversations. Now, what did I say? When people show love, care, or whatever, it looks different to different people. Okay. So somebody may want a phone call all the time. Somebody think, well, if I'm communicating through social media, through text, in 2022, get with the, that's what we doing. I don't have, what I'm saying? People like, I'm not in a space and time. I'll respond how I want to respond. A lot of people are taking their own autonomy back and not being beholden to these things where they don't have to pick up the phone when they don't feel like it, or when they aren't able to talk, or if they don't have space at the time to do that. People are taking their own autonomy back. But there are some people that still kind of feel offended by that type of behavior, which Destiny seems to be that type of person. And in this whole thing, there is a miscommunication. So she's bringing out these receipts. She's talking about, we're talking, we're having a dialogue, and all this other stuff, which they are. And I said, okay, Melody, you're correct. You're absolutely correct. It wasn't like it was no smoke signal, no nothing. Like I cut you off. Like I don't fuck with you. It was not none of that. She's talking. She said she needed space. She had a hard season 3. She had a fucking terrible season 3. And I'm going to give Mel some grace for what she endured during season 3. And she still kind of gets the remnants of that in season 4. But she's learned how to handle that as far as Martell is concerned. But there is some fallout with other people in her life, and that's usually how that happens when you're focusing on one thing and something, then you start to implement these changes in your mindset, then other people start to feel the impact that that person has had on you. And to the outsider, they say that person is bitter and miserable, blah blah blah. No, she's just at the other end of the spectrum. And like I said, I just like to see her work back to the middle where she can start to reconnect and foster the types of relationships that she needs in her life, platonic girl groups, friend groups, and stuff like that. And so, yeah. And not these fake surface fair weather friends that she keeps bringing on this damn show, bitch. You ain't fooling nobody, okay? Don't be rude. Don't be rude. Okay, so then we get into a situation where Destiny, this is what I saw there. I saw that Melody pulled out the receipts, and I saw that you were trying to rebut them, but the rebuts kind of fell flat. And then you started making these faces. Okay. Child, do you know Melody is the wrong person that you need to be making faces to? Because that is the queen of faces. And then she got nervous talking about, don't be rude. Don't be rude. But Melody, you do the same damn thing, girl. Child, some bullshit. Also, too, as soon as she said, don't be rude, Destiny immediately, that's when you go on the defense, right? First of all, I'm grown. Don't be talking to me like that. And so there we go. Then we get the the response, the reaction to what has been done. Okay. So, it's not going to go nowhere good from this. Okay. It's not going to go nowhere good. Exactly. So, okay. So then this whole enemy thing is coming up, right? So she's saying that Mel said that she would never tell you that you can't chill with somebody or be friends with somebody or whatever. I would never do that. But then on the other hand, this you heard that right? This hand, then out the second breath, she said, well, you know what it was. She was like, I didn't know what it was. If she was your enemy, you should have told me she was your enemy, but you did not say that. And so now, she's changing the narrative, but she's doing it in a manner that you almost couldn't tell. You almost wouldn't be able to pick it out if you wasn't listening closely, like, because she knows how to turn it where it sounds like it was something that you did wrong, but you just said that I would never. Because when the way that sounds, it sounds like the same thing when you're like, I would never tell nobody to do no business with you. Well, that's what the lady said. The lady said you did it. Well, you should have known. Like it feels like that almost. You know what I'm saying? It feels like we could be along the same lines as that or whatever. And yeah, and Mel does that a lot. She does it a hell of a lot. She does it a lot. Because she keeps this high-pitched Southern Belle voice, but the things that she says, she contradicts herself slightly. She used slightly variated words in different meanings. It's almost called doublespeak. You know what I'm saying? It's called doublespeak. And like I said, if it's not blatant, and if it's, Donald Trump he does it blatantly, but she does it covertly. You know what I'm saying? She does it in a manner where you almost can't detect it. And you know what I'm saying? But Yeah, so she didn't tell that girl she was her enemy. Then she was saying that, she kind of conflated all of the issues together. She was right. Mel was absolutely correct. She was saying that, she finds it funny that, you're able to have time alone to process your divorce and go through a whole divorce after you have a baby, and you don't tell me anything about it. But at the same time, you're here telling me that you don't accept what I'm doing, but you did the same thing to me. And like I said, nobody likes when they pull a you on you. And that's basically just another iteration of how this thing works out and how this situation is going to me. That's just what it looks like. Child, that was a whole goddamn lot. I'm like, shit, what the hell? Where do we go? I mean, it just felt like they were still kind of talking around in circles, but they did touch on a whole lot of things. They even touched on the Martell situation about Destiny kind of rubbing in her face that Martell is calling her or something like that. And like, oh, this is your ex on the phone or something, or, and it made Mel feel away. And Destiny basically said that, she was friends with Martell first. But my thing is, Mel, I'm gonna need you to be honest. I'm gonna need you to be 100%. I don't care whether or not she talked to people are adults. I feel like, sometimes, like, if I understand that sometimes if somebody has dulled me out or done me wrong and somebody is still friends or still good Juice with somebody else, yeah, I will look at you a little sideways. And I may distance myself from you, and I may not do none of that. You know what I'm saying? You distance yourself from people. Like, if you've seen people dog you out and do things to you to physically hurt you, and you know that person is not deserving of that type of treatment or whatever, then okay, whatever. But I want you to be honest and please tell the people if Destiny was not on Martell's fucking neck the whole time y'all was going through y'all bullshit. Please, because she done been through the ringer with Martell, her sitting there and him throwing her under the bus because she defending you. But that's his friend first. They were friends first. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, it's a whole lot of moving pieces here. When you're working through divorces and friendships and things sour, and then people still they still have these tentacles and these people still overlap with these people, it gets a little messy. And listen, where I'm not gonna be going back and forth. I'm not gonna be in no mess. And if I don't know how you feel about me, that's just what it is. If I'm not confident of where I stand, I remove myself. And maybe that's what Melody is doing. But at the same time, I feel like, like I said, she does this double talk. She wants you to do these things, but she doesn't express them. Once they are expressed, but it's all the way down the line after all these snowball effects have happened from these residual feelings that she hasn't even expressed. And then we end up here. And so it was just a whole lot. It was a whole lot. She did say, Destiny did say Mel has this condescending. Here we go, putting out that narrative. Don't be putting out that narrative, girl. People see you for your works. We can see the goddamn TV. Girl, I'm gonna call you out. You know what I'm saying? I don't be biased. I don't be biased. Everybody is flawed, and I'm not gonna always go up for you. You know what I'm saying? No. Call you out when you're wrong, uplift you when you're right. Like that whole bias stand shit. Like, I mean, if you want to, but Melody wants a yes man on her side all the time. That's what she wants on her team. And if that's what you're not, then we got a problem. And we see later on down the line, there's a problem. Then here we go. Well, I guess friends is for a reason, a season, or whatever. She was like, okay. And then, they kind of went to this little passive aggressive thing, and Destiny started laughing, and she was like, all right, I'm gonna let you have that. And then they were saying, well, why are we sitting here? If you're gonna be doing all that, why are we sitting here trying to have this conversation? She jumps up, she leaves, she makes the grand exit because I got coins to make and not friends to fake. And she rolled out and she left, and that's how you make an exit, Letitia. I'm gonna need you to take some notes, dear. Anyway, that was the episode. I've been on here too long, pontificating. That's it for me. Get down in the comments. Let me know if you're Team Mel, Team Destiny. Like I said, I feel like everybody has some valid points. I did express there are some nuances. Most times it's never team and team. It's always some nuances in black and white there. And so while Melody did have some points, I still was able to call her out on her thing. You know what I'm saying? Destiny, boo, I'm gonna need you to do some self-reflection of what you did, what you didn't do. It's not always what you did. Sometimes it's what you didn't do. Okay, so there's that as well. you know, just kind of think about it or whatever. And Melody still needs to do some work as well. I can see that she's doing some work, but she's stuck on this extreme end. And like I said, she needs to bring it right back. Okay. So yeah. So would y'all let Martell back into the business?
It's a no for me, dog. I know.
That's a big ass no. Anything else? Oh, we didn't see Hey and Tiffany this episode. We didn't see Stormy. Didn't miss neither of the trio. Did not miss them at all. Yeah, so that's it. You just let me know, chime down in the comments, let me know what you think, and we'll get down in the comment and chat. Don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share my videos, and make sure you come back. Bye.